Wow, thank you so much for being here. You want to introduce yourself to our audience?
Well, my name is Kevin Bond, Baltimorean, born and raised, and I'm entering the behavioral health field, getting into the peer recovery specialist field, and thanks to Miss Tenney, I learned a lot about trauma, and I now can understand some of the things that I've been through. Taking that course, becoming a peer recovery specialist, changed my life because it helped me get equipped with the knowledge that I need to better serve the community.
That's wonderful. I like to say that the whole script of your life wouldn't serve you in the new one, but I believe that there are a lot of people still living the whole script that most likely you featured in. Could we learn about your past, informations about your recovery?
Yeah, so a part of my recovery is letting go of the street mentality.
Okay.
My mother and my father was on drugs. So when I was younger, I saw what drug addiction looked like and how it tore families apart. So it always made me want to stay away from doing drugs. But because I didn't have the necessities at home, I went into the streets to get the necessities.
Wow.
And then when I went in the streets to get the necessities, I got stuck. And the reason I got stuck is because it's kind of like when you go on the streets, you don't have to go to school. You don't have to clock in and punch in like a regular job. And it was hard to get out because the money was good, the lifestyle was cool, and it become almost the norm that you commit crimes every day. So that was my addiction, committing crimes every day to get by. Like a normal person can wake up and they gotta go to school or they gotta go to work. Mine was, I get up and I go outside and I sell drugs. And if any other crime, that was associated with selling drugs, it was like a no-brainer to do it because it was just like the only option that I had.
Wow, that's some real stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And at what point did you say it was time to stop?
Sad to say, when I went to prison. So when I was 22 years old, I got sentenced to 22 years in federal prison. And just knowing that I had 20 years to do, it made me change. It made me reflect and look at life different. I no longer wanted to, come home and go back to jail or continue doing the same things. I knew that I was a talented person. I knew that I was a leader, and I just worked on myself while I was in there. So I had plans and goals that I'm living now. I've been home for 3 years, and Beautiful. It's the best life that I could ever dream of.
I love it. I love it. Now let's dive into opinion around recovery. And I will touch on family, I will touch on the community as well. So when you were going through this, should I call it past life?
Yeah.
What was the experience around your family?
My mother was on drugs, my father was on drugs, my uncle, my aunt. When you walk outside the house, I lived in the rough communities.
Yeah.
I lived in the projects, when you're talking Murphy Homes, Palmer Court, McCullough Homes, Park Heights, and those communities were blighted. You look out your door and it's abandoned houses. It's people using drugs right in front of you.
Yeah.
And, so my reality was, we was on welfare, living in Section 8 public housing, and everybody around me kind of had the same mentality. We were in survival mode.
Right.
So you learn to grow up fast in those environments. When you're young, you're doing adult things because you got to take care of yourself. So that was my reality coming up.
So in that case, you didn't know how to do it right outside of that?
So my mother taught me how to steal out of stores probably when I was like 10 years old. And we would steal household products so we could have stuff in the house, food, the market. And then she would also steal stuff so she could sell drugs. So, no disrespect to my mother because I love her and I understand it was an addiction. But when you learn something from somebody who's supposed to nurture you and care for you, it kind of teaches you the wrong thing, and you're comfortable with doing it because this is who you're learning from. So then I graduated from when my mother wasn't with me. I knew how to make money. I could go in the store and steal and come outside and sell the stuff. So that was kind of like my introduction into being an entrepreneur and hustling, stealing out the store and selling.
Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery into the transformative power of alpha culture. As you continue to integrate these principles into your life, may you experience profound growth, healing, and a renewed sense of purpose.